Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another episode review of Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush, the 8th Yu-Gi-Oh! Series that just started over a week ago. And in today's video, we are going to be reviewing the second episode, which saw our main protagonist, Yudias, take on a new member of the Sogetsu family, Manabu Sogetsu, in a pretty interesting duel. And all in all, I thought the episode was another really solid episode. Episode didn't blow me away by any means, but I thought this episode did a very good job of dropping more seeds that are probably going to really blossom as this show goes on. I thought they did a great job with the little bit of Yudias background that they got. Yugioh was painted, I thought, in a fantastic light in this episode, whereas in episode 1, I liked the direction her character was going in. Seemed kind of cunning and kind of, clever, but they really expanded on that observationalist and almost like genius that she is. The way that she was able to call out Manabu for his lies in real time, the way that she was able to tell Manabu that if he was the one that actually defeated Yudias, he would have been in a lot of trouble because Yudias had the 8.88 million countrymen waiting to, storm if the MIB, or the MIK, excuse me, were actually going to take Yudias as a hostage. And we learned a lot more about what the MIK does and kind of how they view UTS and how they view aliens, and it is not in a very positive light. The dueling action was once again very tutorial-esque. I think we are going to probably have a couple more tutorial-like episodes where there's still going to be a lot of explaining needed to do, because you have to remember, we have not seen a maximum yet, we have not seen a fusion yet, and while I don't think that those cards are necessarily going to be appearing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush in the near future, I think it's probably going to be 15, 20 episodes before we get either one of those mechanics. That would have to be something that's going to be explained to the viewer and to Yudias whenever he first encounters them. And I don't think we've gotten a single spell or trap yet. And so I imagine in next week's episode, which is Yugioh versus the Chupacabra character, I'm sure we are going to see an explanation on how spells and traps can affect the duel as well. And so for those of us that are seasoned here, for those of us that watched Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, these duels aren't going to be too exciting, and that's okay. They're not really supposed to be. I can't remember any Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime where one of my favorite duels was like one of the first 2, 3, or even 4 duels that took place. Maybe besides Yugi versus Kaiba with the Exodia Obliterate, but that's iconic for other reasons, not just because it's the first duel. I think it's very normal and fine to have these tutorial-like duels, but the duel definitely was nothing special, as I was not expecting it to be anything special. It was really cool, though, to see Galactica Oblivion, which is Yudias' other ace monster. So we saw Transamu Rainik in the first duel, and we see his Dragon Ace in this duel. And the element that I absolutely loved when it came to the duel was the internal struggle that Yudias had when he had to summon his dragon in order to get over Manabu's monsters and win this duel. And that struggle was exactly what I wanted to see. An alien that has so much PTSD from being involved in a gruesome, bitter war on Velgear, a war where he believes that his commander and maybe a very good friend of his died saving him in battle. Now, I say he believes because we know that's not true. There's a little dramatic irony here at play. We as the viewer know that Yugioh is going to be in an episode in the somewhat near future, you would imagine. But Yudias believes that Yugioh sacrificed himself in order to save Yudias. And so Yudias views a tribute summon in the same vein of sacrificing allies on the battlefield, and it's something that he does not feel comfortable doing. And it's luckily Manabu and the voice of Yugioh, which I thought was also very interesting, that get him out of that funk and allow him to summon Galactica Oblivion. But that backstory was really unexpected and really good. That's exactly what I wanted to see. And I said that you're going to get your seriousness that I think some people might be looking for. It's not going to be incredibly serious. Comedy is still going to be at the forefront, but maybe a little more serious than Sevens was to a degree. And you're going to get that, I think, through Yudias and through the war on Velgear, because there's not really any way you can comedicize, that's definitely not a word. There's not any way you can comedicize a war, right? A war is brutal, it's horrible, it's terrible. You can't really make light of that. And so when that was first announced, when Go Rush was first announced, I always felt like that was the way that you're going to get this show a little more grounded outside of all the comedic elements that we're going to see. And episode 2 kind of proving to be true there, that Yudias not only suffers from PTSD, but had a huge hurdle in this episode, a huge mental hurdle, because he did not want to sacrifice one of his monsters. And again, he ends up doing that. He ends up getting the win with Galactica Oblivion, and he makes a great line at the end when Manabu is walking away. Yudias says something along the lines of him fighting more battles than just what the MIK is doing, which I thought was very interesting, because it definitely implies that there is way more to Manabu's character than first meets the eye, which is good. And Manabu is a character I liked. He was goofy, and he was, you know, if you told me this was Gakuto's grandson, it's exactly the kind of personality that I would expect Gakuto's grandson to have. A little goofy, a little quirky. He dresses as Gakuto. The purple-haired character in the preview was him in a disguise, which I think was the main consensus heading into this episode. So Gakuto obviously did not appear in this episode, and he was not mentioned at all, but he is the leader of the MIK, which is obviously a play on Men in Black. He has a talking cat who has the same voice actress as the current JoJo protagonist, or the most recent JoJo protagonist, Jolene. So that's super cool. Someone with a lot of star power and a lot of social media presence voicing a cat. In any other franchise, that would be absolutely ridiculous, but it's Yu-Gi-Oh!, so it's just kind of what we're used to as fans. Yuumu then makes mention of basically the kid-friendly way of saying everyone's got their own shit going on, where I think Yuumu says everyone has their own circumstances, and that's absolutely true. And we're going to learn a lot more about Manabu and his struggles and whatever he's fighting. I would love if there is maybe a tie-in to the Nanahoshi clan. I think that would be really, really cool. We know that clan is a clan of darkness and a clan that rivals the Sogetsu-style clan, so maybe there's a descendant from that clan that is a pain in the side, a thorn in the side of Manabu. I think that would be really cool. I think that's a decent possibility. Another interesting thing here is Ranze and Rinosuke came from descendants that were serving the master of the Sogetsu style. Not only does Manabu never bring up the Sogetsu style, but he obviously does not have two servants helping him like Ranze and Rinosuke helped Gakuto. So I thought that was very interesting as well. And, you know, there's a lot of questions here as to where the heck does this show fall in relation to Sevens. Neondastar, the cat, refers to the workers at UTS as elderly, and doing a quick Google search, anyone in Japan that is over the age of 65 is considered elderly. So that would be maybe grounds to believe it's a 50, 60-year skip. I always believed that these characters seemed like they would be in their 60s based on the initial leak of Galliant, Sushiko, and Yagi. Galliant is the only one that speaks. I'm pretty sure it's the same voice actor. He sounds very similar. He even uses kind of the same or similar terminology as Galliant would use as if he was addressing like Asana or Yuga, which I thought was very interesting. Another interesting tidbit is we learned that these twins did not create UTS. They inherited it. I think someone said they inherited it from their parents, and I think someone else said they inherited it from their father, or that their father was the creator of the company. But it's also implied, I believe, that their parents, plural, both worked here and maybe founded the company. So, again, there's no way that these are Yuga's kids, because that's a 50-year time skip if we're assuming all the other characters are in their 60s and elderly, unless Neondastar was just, you know, being dramatic and they're not actually elderly by Japan terms. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this show when it comes to the timeline, but I think it's very, very fascinating, and it's definitely really hooking me week in and week out to see more of these characters that we're assuming are the same characters from Sevens. Why are they all in Matsuba Town? Why do 8 of them work for UTS? And what is the relation here? I think it's so fascinating, and there are so many different things at play, but they did a great job introducing Yugioh into the show. They did a great job of showing Yudias' backstory with that character, and they did a great job of showing, I didn't even talk about this, but how much a group like MIK despises aliens. If they won, Yudias would be sent away, and even the aliens that are deemed good, the example that Manabu gave was that the aliens that are deemed good have to be closely monitored, and he showed an example of one being tied up and taken away to prison. So I guess even if you're an alien deemed acceptable to live here by the MIK standards, you're still under constant monitoring, and you have to live, I'm assuming, imprisoned. So just, it adds more to the vitriol that we know exists in this world of humans versus aliens, and I think that dynamic is going to be really, really cool to see. I'm sure Manabu is going to have a change of heart, probably through Yudias, and yeah, there's a lot of really cool things this episode did. Again, in terms of a duel, nothing special. It's exactly what you'd expect from an early episode duel, but I'm really excited to see where they are going to go here in Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. But guys, let me know your thoughts on episode 2. Let me know any theories you have, any early predictions, and so far, way too early to ask, but who's your favorite character? Who do you really vibe with in this show? Thank you guys all so much for watching my review. I will talk to you down below. A special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons, Panther J, Blue Maiden 28, and Jarrett Buller, and to my Diamond tier patrons, Jesse Wood and Latrell Smith, and to my Egyptian God tier patrons, Ccapacappuuu and Syn Cloud. To everyone who supports me on Patreon, and to everyone who is a YouTube channel member, thank you so much. The extra support means the world to me, and it allows me to make videos on a semi-daily basis, and I am forever indebted to you guys. Seriously, thank you so much. And definitely check out my channel membership feature and my Patreon for some extra channel perks. And thank you guys all so much for watching. Please leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. Be sure to check out my channel for some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime content. And I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.
Best.